Who cares about what men want? Why did I click on this video? Men should just learn to communicate better. If you're having those thoughts right now, well, let me tell you, beautiful, that you can exit the screen and don't keep watching, because what I'm about to teach you here is only helpful for those women who want to understand male behavior in order to build stronger connections or attract the right partner. And let me start with the obvious fact that we men aren't always the best at communicating what we want from a woman. I mean, I literally just had a client last week who was using ChatGPT to ask for advice because she couldn't figure out what was going on with the guy that she was seeing. We laughed about it when she told me, but after the call ended, I honestly thought about, how lonely it can feel sometimes, because I've been there myself, when you're trying to understand what's going on in the other person's mind and you don't know where to find the answers. My name is Ismael Gomez, and today I will share with you 5 things that most men crave from women but often don't know how to tell you. Okay, so let's begin. Number 1, erotic fantasies. Many men carry a quiet shame around their fantasies. Okay, society has conditioned us to feel like our desires are wrong or dirty, so instead of sharing them with you, okay, many guys might hide them, or worse, they sneak around to find fulfillment elsewhere. Someone hired me once because her partner was watching some erotic videos at night, and it started to create serious tension in the relationship. So when we talked, I suggested that she approach it not with judgment, but with curiosity. I told her to think about what he might be engaging in this activity, okay, and to even consider watching the videos with him to show that she wanted to better understand his desire in this area. Then she said that she wasn't comfortable watching any of those videos with him, which I understood, but she was willing to make a compromise, okay? She agreed to listen to the audio when they were together, but she didn't want to look at the screen. And you see, what I told this client was that the specifics of the compromise didn't matter as much as the fact that he felt safe sharing his desires without fear of rejection or disgust. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to say yes to every request or be someone that you're not. I mean, ladies, if you're curious about the kinds of fantasies that men have but are ashamed to say, just take a peek at Reddit forums or online discussions, or better yet, let me give you an example of mine that I never share, okay? Sometimes I just... I'm kidding. I'm not gonna share that here on the internet. This is not going to be, 50 Shades of Gomez, so let's move on. Number 2, he wants you to be direct. If there's something that men truly want, it's honesty, even when it stings. For example, I have a friend who was losing his hair, okay? And his girlfriend would always tell him like, oh no, baby, it's fine, you're not losing much. But he wasn't completely convinced, so what do you think he would do? He would come to me and say, Ismael, do you think I'm going bald? And my response was, yeah, man, I mean, you're losing it, it's all good. Look into treatments before it gets any worse. And of course, he appreciated my honesty, even though it wasn't what he wanted to hear. This is why a lot of people say that men like mean women, because they tend to be brutally honest. And I'm not saying that you should practice being rude or harsh, okay? That's a complete different thing, but it's about being straightforward and telling it like it is. You see, men respect women who are brave enough to be honest, but kind enough to deliver it with care, okay? When you're direct and reliable with your opinions and insight, you become someone that he trusts, and he will always come to you for advice and support. Number 3, he wants to conquer you. You've probably heard me say here on the channel to never make a man chase you, right? That he should pursue you instead. So what is the difference? Okay, I'll give it to you right now so you always remember it. Pursuing is a steady and consistent effort to show his interest in you. And chasing is an urgent desire to win you over at any cost. We men are wired to conquer, okay? That's why we watch sports, that's why we watch all these, action movies, okay? And when it comes to love, we also want to experience this, okay? But you have to make sure that he's doing it in a healthy, steady way of pursuing, not in a desperate chase. And I always tell you, ladies, that it's okay to take the initiative sometimes, okay? As long as you let him pursue you afterwards. But if you're always the one initiating dates, sending text messages, or making plans, you're taking away the opportunity for him to step up and try to conquer your heart. And obviously, a lot of this is subconscious behavior, okay? Do not expect the guy to tell you, hey, can you let me pursue you so I can feel like I'm earning your affection? Men are not going to express this need directly, but their actions will always show when they feel suffocated, when they feel pressured, or when things came too easily and now they've lost interest. I mean, listen closely to couples that you know who are in love, okay? Most of the time, what is it that you hear? You hear the guy saying that, he made her fall for him, that he had to do all these things to convince her, right? Or something along those lines. So always be the woman that he tells stories about. Number 4, he wants to be vulnerable. One of the hardest things for a man to admit is that he wants a safe space to be vulnerable with you, okay? And here's why. I mean, when men share their negative feelings, okay, whether it's stress, sadness, or frustration, they often fear that you will lose respect for them. I mean, just go online and see all these red pill guys telling other men to never tell a woman when you're feeling sad or when you're dealing with financial issues, because they will never look at you the same way. And this is when you start seeing the guy that you're with, pulling away or getting upset about things that make no sense. And deep down is because he wants to talk about something else, but he doesn't know how to bring it up. Now remember, he doesn't want a robot that tells him that he's the best at everything, okay? Like I mentioned in number 2, he wants you to be direct and honest, but always offer your support. And let me take this moment to quickly share with you 3 quotes that men post online, okay? So you can see how there's so many guys also going through painful experiences and sharing negative beliefs about women, because a lot of the times you kind of see the side of women, but you don't see what's happening on the other side, okay? So here they are. Women would rather share a high-value man than be saddled with a faithful loser. Good girls are just bad girls who never got caught. She was never yours, it was just your turn. And final, number 5, he wants to be complimented. Ladies, men crave compliments just as much as women do, okay? But they often don't receive them as frequently. And also, we're not being taught to receive compliments, right? It's kind of like we're ashamed of asking for something, for some, positive reinforcement. And, when we get phrases like you're strong or you're handsome, it doesn't have much of an impact as when you say something specific about them. And since all of you love examples, let me share a couple of compliments that I received many years ago and they have stuck with me ever since. Someone told me once, if we ever have kids, I hope they get your brain and your nose. And the other one is, every time you walked into class, I had to catch my breath. So if you want to use these with a guy that you're talking to or someone in the future, okay, no need to give me credit. Just go ahead and I promise you, just like me, he's going to be thinking about those words for a long time. All right, ladies, so let's recap really quick. Again, a man wants to share his fantasies with you. He wants you to be direct with him. He wants to conquer you, to be vulnerable, and getting a genuine, specific compliment. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or doubts. I'll try to answer as many as I can. And if you see that I don't answer yours, please read the other comments because most likely I already answered a similar one. Anyways, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'm glad that you chosen me to learn about self-love, dating, and relationship dynamics because like I always say, for your relationships to change, you need to change. Have a beautiful day.